Hey guys, it's K9 here to do a tutorial video. Finally doing the full video. So I'm going to be showing you today how to get your PS2 online. That's right. So just a full disclaimer, you can do this with a real PlayStation 2, any model, and you can also do this with PCSX2. Now for the purpose of today's video, I'm going to mainly focus on using the actual PlayStation 2 console, and the console I'll be using today is a PS2 Slim, but the process is pretty similar with these consoles, and with PCSX2 itself there might be some different steps, but you can still follow along with this. And also I'll be able to link an affiliate video right here up on the screen somewhere, which will show you how to get online if you are playing with PCSX2. Another thing to note is that you can also play PS2 Online with a backwards compatible PS3 console, but I do not have a console like that, and thus I am not able to show that on a tutorial today, but there should be something like that on YouTube that you can watch. So now with all that said, let's get straight into the video. So here are some things that you'll need to get your PS2 online. So again, we will be focusing on the PS2 console today, and the steps will vary somewhat depending on your system. For this you will need a compatible online game. There are a large amount of them that are compatible, and there is a compatibility list that I will link in the description below that you can check out for a specific game you may want to play. For the purpose of today's video, I will be mainly using Jak X Combat Racing as an example, and I may mention other games that also work online, such as Ratchet & Clank Up Your Arsenal and Ratchet Deadlocked, among many others. You will also need a memory card for your console so that you have something that you can save your online ID and your DNS information. You'll find out what a DNS is in a moment. But basically you'll need something that you can save your online ID for. The game itself won't necessarily have to have a save data for story most of the time, but you'll still need to have a memory card in order to save the information for when you go online, your online ID, your password, stuff like that. Otherwise you're going to have a bad time trying to log in without that information saved. You'll also need an internet connection, of course, preferably Ethernet with the console, as hooking it up via tunneling with Wi-Fi is pretty finicky and not my cup of tea. It has been done, but it is not stable or reliable. So usually with a Slim console it is just a matter of plugging in that blue Ethernet cable in the back. If you have a original PS2, aka what people seem to call the fat PS2 these days, you will need to have a network adapter with an Ethernet port. Now for today's video I am sticking with the Slim, as my original PS2 does not have an Ethernet slot on its hard drive adapter. But nonetheless, the steps are pretty similar. You just plug it in and that will get your internet access. Okay, so we've booted up our game here. So for today I will be using Jak X Combat Racing as the subject for today's tutorial. So basically you want to go into exhibition mode over here and then head online. Now if you are new to the game you won't have any DNS addresses here, and you will have the option to either make or configure. So for the sake of today's tutorial I will just be opening up one of my DNS addresses to configure it. And it'll come up saying, this will start the network configuration utility. You'll be able to hit proceed, accept, and it will load up into our network configuration. So if you hadn't made one before you would hit add setting, so for the sake of the video I'm going to hit edit because I already have one. And then you'd go to the memory card slot that you're using, which is likely the first one. Then you would make or select the one that you already have. So in my case, I'm just going to hit whichever. And then it'll say like confirm of what you're doing. You'll be able to use the right arrow on the D-pad to just kind of move through these. So you want to select this network adapter. When it says for user ID and password required for provider, you say not required. IP address is always set on auto. And your DNS server address setup will be set to manual. We will be manually adding this in. So then we go into primary DNS, and this is the one that we will change to whatever number it needs to be. Sometimes, occasionally, servers will go under maintenance, and occasionally DNSs have had to be updated. So if you are needing to update it, you would be following the prompts I'm doing now of editing the pre-existing settings that you're making. But if you're doing this for the first time, then you'll just be putting in whatever the DNS is. So at the moment, the Horizon DNS, this is the current one, but whichever one you're using, you put it in right now, and you just use your arrows and whatnot to add it in. Your secondary DNS, just leave it blank, leave it as 0, you don't need it. It'll do a connection test. It'll say established. Then you'll just name the setting whatever you want to name it, something that'll help you remember what it is. So again, it doesn't really matter what you name it, but if you're like me, I do recommend having more than one DNS address, just so that if you have any issues with lag, you've always got another one you can fall back on. As some games will be able to use almost any DNS address, and some games will have preference over one over the other. I find that the most popular are the Christian DNS and also the Horizon. But if there are other ones available, such as 1UP and other ones. So it's always good to have a couple just saved for any occasion, so that you have the best experience online. So after naming it, it'll just show you the settings that you've input. You can scroll down, have a look at them. You can hit OK. It'll save your edits or creation, and then it'll say confirm. And then at this setting, you'll be able to hit back, and you can just quit back to the main menu, back to your game. Okay, now that you've loaded back into your game, you'll be able to jump back in through the menus, and you'll be able to go exhibition over here. You'll be able to go online. And then because you have set up your network connection, it should be here as an option that you can select whatever you've named it as. And you'll be able to just click on it. It'll say initializing network hardware. Depending on the game, this screen might lose audio. That's pretty normal for some of the games as they're loading. It'll authenticate. And provided everything is done correctly, it'll pass this DNS check, and it'll be able to let you log in. So I'll try connect to lobby now. Because we've passed the DNS check, we'll likely be able to get in, but if you had any other issues, it would kick you out right now and not let you get beyond this menu pretty much. Again, it does slightly vary on games, but provided it passes that DNS check, you should be fine. If you have any other issue, it could be a different error code that you might need to troubleshoot in a Discord server. So if you were following these steps to get into JackX like I just did, then that means you have successfully made it online, because you'll be able to see the online lobby. You'll be able to, if you've got people on your buddy list, you'll be able to see when they're online. Same thing if your game has a clan system, that's you can see your clan members. Currently at the time I make this video, no one on my buddy list is online, but that doesn't really matter. If you're new and fresh, you won't be able to see anybody that's online. You'll be able to just have a look and see if there's any games. You also should be able to make your own game lobby, although if you are new to playing PS2 Online, especially for a specific game, I generally recommend playing in other people's lobbies first, just to test the stability of your connection. And if you find that you're stable enough to run the game without too many issues, then feel free to make lobbies and invite people in. Set up your own impromptu game nights. I'm sure people would love it and join in. So yeah, I hoped that helped people. As mentioned previously, some games may need an extra step to get online, such as needing a DNS patch depending on your region of game that you are playing with. Some games, like Jack X Combat Racing, don't need any form of patching, so you're able to just simply do all the steps that I mentioned and put the disc in, and then log into the DNS that you have now set up and get online. So I hope this video helped. It is as easy as that. It is just simply getting it online like this, and once you have all the information saved, you can play a variety of video games online on your PlayStation 2. If you still have any other questions, comments, or queries, feel free to ask me in the YouTube comments below, or you can join my Discord server where I can answer any of your questions there. I strongly recommend you also join the respective Discord server for the game you are playing, just so that you are kept up to date with anything that's going on, such as game nights, tournaments, other events. Sometimes DNS addresses need to be serviced or updated just like any other game that is online, so it's worth having a method of keeping up to date with that information so that you don't miss out. So yeah, I hope this video helps somebody. If you liked it, please like the video, subscribe to my channel, and you'll be getting more content from me very soon. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you online on PlayStation 2.